Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Screenwork Entertainment. And I just finished watching The Flash. This movie just dropped, so if you don't want anything spoiled,
Go on, get.
now I'll be honest, I was on the fence with this movie. With the track that other DC movies have, and I really, really wanted to like this movie like so bad. And in its own way, it's pretty good, but there's so many things that hold this film back. They had some really good ideas, and I like the story, but the finished product is something that could have been great. And that's the problem with this movie. It could have been great. That should be the tagline, the slogan, if you say, of this movie is it could have been great. I think everybody knows the story from the trailer. Unfortunately, it kind of gives it away. Barry wants to save his mom, and he finds out that he can travel back in time, and he wants to change the events so his mom doesn't get killed. When trying to go back in time, he gets knocked out of, I guess, his little dimension, and goes into another dimension. And this is where we learn later, much later, that was Dark Flash. And I'm not going to talk too much about him right now. We'll get to him later. But that's the gist of the movie. Love it or hate it. And honestly, I don't love it or hate it. I'm kind of in between. So let me explain why I'm so in between on this movie. Let's talk about the good and the bad. Let's start with the good. And of course, it's going to be Michael Keaton's Batman. He was just awesome. Keaton sells it. I don't find it corny, or he doesn't fall flat, or he's not just completely ridiculous. He was definitely the best part of the movie. And that's kind of sad it's not being his movie, but a Flash movie. But he was definitely the coolest, the best part of the movie. See a lot of cameos in this movie. And one in particular that was the coolest thing I have seen in a movie in a long freaking time. I'm not going to spoil that for you. I want you to see it for yourself. But if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Just a certain little cameo, which is just so freaking cool. There's also one scene at the beginning with Ben Affleck's Batman and Wonder Woman, which was freaking hilarious. Ben Affleck has Wonder Woman's truth rope, and he starts to saying things, that he's thinking, or just because he's holding that rope, and it's just so freaking funny. But then, Barry has to speak up and say something, and just completely ruins the whole moment, the whole scene. Most of the fights, though, were pretty good. And I mean, I've seen worse.
Is it good for you?
I've had better.
Some of the CGI was good, and I do mean some of the CGI, to very little to none, but there was some scenes that looked pretty good. I am not for sure what happened in that department, to be honest. But I guess I'm kind of running out of good things to say. That's really like the good things to say. So let's get into the bad. I can handle bad CGI. And I do mean some of it looks like it came from a PS4. But others look like it came from a PS5. I mean, with a movie that costs this much to make, you think the CGI would look 100 times better. But it's just so bad. I mean, it's just so bad. There's some scenes that are just, wow. I'm just like, wow, this made the final cut? Damn.
Damn!
But like I said, I can handle the bad CGI. But the worst part of the movie, the worst part was freaking Barry Allen, a.k.a., yes, Flash. He is just so annoying. And hard to watch annoying. The alternate him was just the worst. I wanted to stop watching the movie and just walk out. But I didn't. But, that's just how annoying he was. Everything he says, all the jokes, nothing lands. The guy can act. He's a good actor. But I'm sure it's not his fault. It's just the way they wrote him. I just don't understand. It's just so cringeworthy. Honestly, he ruins the movie completely. And it's sad because it's his movie. So now let's talk about that opening. Jeebus. With all the babies that are just falling. That has to be one of the worst openings I've seen in quite some time. I mean, the CGI. I mean, that's what people were talking about. As soon as the movie opens with that little action scene, it was that CGI was god awful. The coffee store where he's trying to order his food was God, it was horrible. Horrible. The guy was not funny. The guy at the register was not funny. Barry wasn't funny. It was hard to watch. It was really hard to watch. And it felt like it just went on forever. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, it was really bad. We also have Supergirl. The concept was pretty cool. I like the idea of Supergirl. And when she's on screen, she was awesome. But it doesn't really last too long. She's not there too much. And she just gets her ass handed to her by Zod, which I was a little disappointed. I wanted a better battle. I wanted more action. I wanted her to see her stand her ground. She doesn't have to just annihilate him, but come on, let's watch more of a battle, more of a fight. Let's see more. That's what I wanted to see, but kind of when we did it, kind of sucked. Even Zod, who's played by Michael Shannon, which I love. I love that guy. He's awesome. But he seemed like he didn't even want any part of the movie. Like I don't know. He just didn't seem like he was into it to me. I mean, if you can get past a really bad PS4 CGI and Barry Allen's horrible, horrible humor, then it's not a bad flick. But those are some really tall tasks to ask for. So let's get back into the story. And I will be going into some major spoilers here. So just a warning, just a fair warning. During the big fight, Michael Keaton's Batman and Supergirl, they keep dying, from Zod and his forces. And nothing Barry does can fix it. They go back over and over and over. And that's how the whole Dark Flash thing comes. The Ultimate Barry has gone back so many times. He's just littered with Kryptonian weapons in his body from being stabbed so many times. They just have fused with his body or something. And now he wants to kill our version of the Flash. I guess because he killed his mom in his timeline or something. I don't know. I stopped caring at this point. I was so out of it. I was just losing interest by this part of the movie, to be honest. So I'm sorry. I don't even know. It was annoying. And I'll also be honest. There is one scene after the end credits, and I was thinking why it was the most pointless end credit scene I've ever seen in a movie. I'm like normally it would set up the next movie or a tease something. But no, it's just you see Aquaman and Barry leaving a bar. Aquaman is drunk, falls flat on his face in a water puddle, and he's like, "Hey, he's Aquaman, and he's in the water." That's so funny. I don't know. It wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. So to finish this up, the movie could have been great, but it falls flat due to really bad CGI, humor, and how annoying the Flash is. But anyways, let me know what you thought of this movie, in the comments. Was Barry Allen as annoying as I thought? What about the CGI? Does it look as bad as, PS4, PS5 CGI? It looked pretty bad. But let me know in the comments what you thought of this movie, and I appreciate you for checking us out. Peace.